You know what gets old? All those comments calling me a fish and a bad poker player. So guess what? I'm putting those big talkers to the test.
Without a doubt, Wolfgang Poker is a fraud and scammer. Many people have found this out the hard way, including myself. Poker vlogging is full of smoke, mirrors, and influencers pretending to be high-stakes crushers. So hey, let's start right at the top with Sheep Gang Poker, or as some of you may know him as Wolfgang Poker. Before Wolfgang Poker became the biggest name in poker vlogging, he used to be Rampage's sidekick, grinding 1-3 at the Aria, losing $400 and calling it a night. Rampage, on the other hand, well, he was losing a lot more, but that's a story for another time.
And an ugly turn card for Rampage. This pot's getting big.
Back then in Vegas, I was playing 2-5 at the Aria. Anytime Rampage sat at the 1-3 table, players would all table change to just get a seat at his table. The whale was playing the smaller game. Most days, there wasn't even a bigger game running, maybe one 5-10 game, if that. This was back when Wolfgang still had time to leave the snack bar to go play poker. Fast forward a few years, I see him again. This time, I beat him for over $30,000. He didn't take it well. Asked for a rebate. I obviously said no. And not too long after, I was banned from the card room that he just bought into. It's called The Fort. Saw him firsthand doing some sketchy things on the streams and in person. And let me just tell you the story of here's what really went down. When I first moved to Dallas in December of 2023, I stayed for 7 months. Wolfgang also lives in the Dallas area, downtown in a studio apartment. Now, guess how many times I saw him in the main poker room, Texas Card House during that stretch? Maybe you'd guess around 4 times a month, which would be 28 times? Well, the actual answer was I saw him only 2 times total at Texas Card House Dallas. Meanwhile, I saw him on the fake Dallas streams way more often than I did in real life. And when I did see him, both times he bought in short for only $700. Half the max buy-in of the 1.5k cap. This was real poker. No hand-picked lineups, no buddy bankrolls, no fake action. Just a California kid driving around in a Tesla. He was way out of his league, and this is only a 1.5k max buy-in game. Scared money. What's worse? I witnessed him colluding firsthand on a private peak stream with at least 2 other players. One was a player known as Seinfeld. Here's a picture of him. If you know his real name, please drop his name in the comments. Would appreciate it. Thank you. The other player was a 21-year-old named Benjamin Frankel. In this hand scene here from Wolfgang, player opens for a $75 raise. I fold in the Stars jersey eating some pizza. One caller, then all of a sudden, Wolfgang shoves for $3,000 with 7 deuce. Seinfeld is next to act and he calls with kings. They are sitting right next to each other, kicking each other under the table, I'm sure, and Wolfgang loses. Why would anyone do that? Simple. It creates a fake sense of crazy action that tricks weaker players into thinking the game is wild. It's a classic setup. This hand with Benji and Wolfgang is irrelevant. It's called a squeeze play. They force pocket nines to fold and they split the 1k in the parking lot.
It's really hard in a cash game to just get 5k in here comfortably.
All while pretending they're giving action when really they're just scamming players on streams and in real life, and I've seen it firsthand.
I think it's like 4th and long. Yeah. Ugh. Oof. Oh, dirty. Good for the content. Ugh.
Now, you might ask, how does a 21-year-old kid with a 10-year-old Hyundai playing in a 2K buy-in game? That's where bankroll sharing comes in. I watched this same kid play the $300 cat game for 10 hours straight while I was playing the 5-5 game. Then he'd randomly show up at the TCH Same location in the 1025 game instead with 8,000 in front. Suspicious? Try blatantly obvious. I beat him in a few big hands and immediately the table turned on me. Nothing like your bankroll buddies standing up for you. Sorry, little guy, when you're 21, I guess you need all the help you can get. Later, this same kid Benji, I see him shows up on Hustler Live playing the biggest pot of his life for $104,000.
He's going to win this $105,000 pot.
I'm going to take a walk. Broke the record from yesterday.
And Wolfgang, while he's promoted himself as a high-stakes player and shot caller, he's out here co-signing 3Coin, the real bankroll behind a dozen losing players just in the Dallas area. In all my time at TCH, I never saw Wolfgang even peek at a 1025 game. Poker's a lot harder when your friends can't protect you or fund your bankroll. The biggest joke of all, well, he's promoting 3Coin's illegal home game and also online illegal apps. Trusting that kind of player in a home game or an unlicensed site, good luck, you're dealing with a fraud. And when all the local players lose money in the local Dallas economy due to cheating, what does Wolfgang do? Well, he gets his buddy Rampage, and they go across college campuses where the young, vulnerable people who don't know better think this guy's a celebrity, along with his fake buddy Rampage, and they sign them up for poker illegal apps. Eventually, I hear that Wolfgang is playing at the Fort Poker Room, about an hour outside of Dallas. This is right before he makes a publicity move to announce he's invested in ownership of the Fort Card Room. He got stuck playing 1-3 match the stack game, where the average stack is only around $1,000. Well, he couldn't beat it. One time, Wolfgang hosted a vlogger meetup game, stacked with fake poker personalities, and they filled 7 tables of 1-3, almost all of them promoting 3Coin's home game and personally backed by him. And they did lower the age to play poker to 18 from 21. Another great idea by Wolfgang. Oh, and here's a hilarious hand versus a player named Slick Rick. Take a look. This guy wasn't even sure if his opponent looked at his cards. Called down with second pair on a king high board. Slick Rick, what an ironic situation. Spoiler alert, 3Coin bankrolls him too, and surprise, surprise, he can't beat a 1-3 game either. We ended up playing about 30 hours at the fort together, all at the 1-3 uncapped. I always had him covered at all times. I never saw him step up. Over the span, I beat him for 25k straight. No, not many coolers, maybe a few flips here and there, just slow, consistent exposure. I wasn't even trying to needle the guy. I thought he was just used to losing money because clearly he was out of his league and lost. Then he asked me for a rebate. I was like, what? This isn't a staking deal. We're 2 players sitting in a public game. I said no. Next thing I know, I'm banned from the room. He was suddenly part owner and didn't like the optics of me beating him over and over and over again. That's when I realized this whole thing, the content, the persona, the room, it was never about the game. It was about control, about promoting 3Coin's home game, about promoting illegal apps, sports books, you name it. This guy was all about it. How can a guy like this be trusted to run illegal sites and illegal activity? You be the judge.
The deuce of hearts. I don't believe it. We're still about 100,000 up.
This isn't a grudge.
That is everything, boys. That's how Versace do it. Everything. Versace get it all. Versace.
But there's a big difference between poker and whatever this nonsense these influencers are doing online that represent poker players. I've played Hustler Live 7 times for 21 hours. I'm up 50k. I've played on streams across the US from Jacksonville to LA and everywhere in between. I'm up almost $250,000 on those streams. And at Hustler Live particularly, I'm one of the only players who plays off the stream on the Hustler floor or other casinos in the LA area. I've never taken a kickback, begged for a rebate, or asked someone to back off just because they're winning. If poker is going to survive as content, it needs to be real again. And this stuff they have out there is just fraudulent, fake, and it ruins the poker community. Drop a comment if you've ever seen an influencer poker that didn't add up. Subscribe for more real stories from someone who's actually in the game. No script, no backing, just straight action.